Welcome to Jets Rewind Plus. This is the episode where I act as a coach, general manager with a game plan. And the Jets are taking on the Green Bay Packers in about 24 hours, actually in about 27 hours. Just as of today, and I'm going to read it right from the New York Post, the latest injury report. Jermaine Johnson is out with the Jets. Dwayne Brown is questionable. Dwayne Brown's going to play. With Green Bay, out is Tipa Galea. Also, wide receiver Christian Watson's out. Now, keep in mind, the Packers are kind of limited in wide receiver right now, and that's Aaron Rodgers' biggest complaint. I'm going to get into that in a couple of minutes. But also, Rashawn Gary was questionable. David Bakatari he was limited with a knee, but he's going to play. And Aaron Rodgers had a bad right thumb, but he practiced on Friday. And supposedly it looked good, but we'll see what happens. Listen. The Jets, for the third week in a row, they're getting a team at the right time. Even though we're playing the Packers on the road, and even though they're coming off a loss against the Giants, things are starting to kind of fall into place for the Jets. And to me, this is the biggest game in a number of years since that last game when they played up in Buffalo for the playoffs, and Fitzpatrick threw those interceptions. If the Jets win on Sunday, everything changes moving forward, which I'm not going to get into now. Let's see what they could do. Now, let me just get into the Jets' defensive plan quickly. And usually I try to limit the key points now to like 5 or 6. I got a little carried away. I have about 10. But let me just go over them fairly quickly. Again, Bryce Huff, he'll be activated. He's making the most out of all the plays he's in, and especially on passing downs. He's a much better pass rusher than he is against the run, so we have to get him in there. When we put Bryce Huff in there, I want to move, and they've been doing it, John Franklin Myers to the inside too. Okay? I want to limit C.J. Mosley's his snaps, especially on third down, passing downs. Look, his box score looks great after the game, the number of tackles he has. But you have to go beyond analytics and go by your own eye test. As good as a player he once was, he's not the same, and he's becoming more of a liability on passing downs. And one of the things that you have to notice with him is he's making too many arm tackles, reaching, all right? And it's a sign of a player that's actually losing a step. So I would limit Mosley on third down plays. I would also, I would activate Bradley and Ney tomorrow. Now, because Johnson, the defensive end, is out, there's a spot, and I would like to give it to Bradley and Ney. I think he deserves it. The Jets will probably give it to Vinny Curry. That's a waste. Vinny Curry is a good story. He hasn't played it down in a long time. He's a good locker room guy, but put the guys in there that are putting the Jets in the best position to win. I don't want to put Vinny Curry on the active roster just because he's a leader. I want players that make plays. Also, a lot of this is going to be redundant, but I can't help it. I really think the Jets could make additional player moves that will help the team, help the 53-man roster. And I'm going to keep saying it. I've said it the first few weeks with Bryce Huff, and I was right about that. I'm going to say it moving on every single week. I would activate Jonathan Marshall. I would activate Denzel Smart. I would limit the snaps of Nathan Shepard and Solomon Thomas. I know you heard this last week. I can't help it though. Solomon Thomas and Nathan Shepard, I don't think are doing the job. Keep in mind, and they'll never admit this, any team in the NFL, Solomon Thomas is the player rep to the union. Okay. The Jets or any other NFL team will never admit that you have to treat that person a little bit differently. But believe me, I came up in an environment where we had to deal with the Teamsters Union, and then I had to deal with shop stewards, et cetera. You do tend to treat the player rep differently, but they have to limit the snaps. They started limiting the snaps the last couple of weeks. And the good thing is, I want to point out Rankins, he's quietly having a pretty good year. And I have to confess, I had said it that I didn't want him on the roster before the season because I thought last year he was really not that good. But he's having a really good year, Sheldon Rankins. Green Bay is going to go play action, okay? Rodgers, and I have it here, he loves the short passing game. With that said, he is Aaron Rodgers, and sometimes he will force the long plays. He doesn't have Devontae Adams on the team. He doesn't have the receivers where he just throws it up, and there's a good chance the receiver is going to come down with the ball. Romeo Doubs is a rookie. He's doing pretty good. I would put Sauce Gardner on him, okay? But as far as Aaron Rodgers, and I have it here, he loves a short game. In 2020, his average yards per reception was 8.2. 2021, his average yards per reception is 7.8. This year, it's down below 7 to 6.9. Okay, so you see the trend, what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. He's still a very dangerous quarterback, but he's not as good as he used to be. Okay? They're going to try to run the ball. They have a couple of running backs, Dillon and Jones, and it's Aaron Jones is a heck of a running back. If you look here, Aaron Jones is averaging 6.4 yards per carry. And he's really good. We always talk about Michael Carter, how good he is after initial contact. Aaron Jones is excellent also. The Jets have to wrap this guy up. You have to tackle him low. He will carry you, and you have to stop him in his steps, okay? We're going to be tempted to blitz. Last week, the Giants, with their great defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale, put on a good show in the second half, especially the fourth quarter, blitzing a lot of the secondary. I promise you that the Packers are going to adjust that. So the Jets attempted to blitz. I'm not saying don't blitz, but I would say limit the blitz, and I would have Sauce Gardner blitz. Okay, he did a good job on that first offensive play last week against Miami. I just want to talk about Sauce Gardner. I spoke about it on the Jets Rewind. Listen, the guy is an unbelievable cover guy, but I see him playing touch football too many times when he has a chance to make a tackle. Now, I don't know if his agent told him when he got drafted, you have to tone down your tackling game if you want to get that second contract. When he was at Cincinnati, he was a really good all-around defensive back as far as cover and as far as tackling. He's not doing a great all-around job, though. He's doing a phenomenal job as a cover guy, but not tackling. I want him to get more aggressive. I really believe that DJ Reed this year is a better all-around defensive back. Okay, I would play 8 up in the box. They're going to run the ball, and we have to have our secondary. Don't play zone, play man. Okay? Got to stop the running game. I have a note here. Odell Beckham Jr. Jets kind of lucked out because I really believe that after the Packers lose the next game, they're going to sign Odell Beckham Jr. because they're hurting at wide receiver. So that's my game plan against highlighting. We have to limit the certain snaps for certain personnel, play 8 up in the box. They're going to try to run the ball. And the Jets have a great shot to win the game. And we'll get right to the offense. All right, let's go over the Jets offense and what I think should be their game plan. And listen, I apologize. This might sound like a ton of cliches at this section, like a political speech, but the Jets have to limit their stupid penalties, okay? They'll just shoot themselves in the foot, not just on offense, but on defense also. Again, they're going to be able to move the ball. They should be able to move the ball. And this is how I would do it. First down, I would do a play action. Too many times, Mike LaFleur is too predictable, running the ball off tackle. I would do a play action pass, okay? And I'm going to show later how Green Bay, one of the biggest vulnerabilities, and we'll get into this, is on crossing routes. But you have Breece Hall, who they're going to be focusing on. Start out with a play action. By the way, the Green Bay Packer defense, they only have 1 interception this year. All right. I would isolate Garrett Wilson. Here, if you want my play of the week, I would have move Conklin to this side, move more back so he's eligible. I would have Breece Hall go in motion. Maybe have him start in the slot and have him go in motion so we're overloading this side. I would isolate Garrett Wilson on whoever's covering him. I don't know if it's going to be Alexander or Stokes, but get him the ball in space quick. If he could limit his moves to just 1 or 2, he has a chance to break it. Okay, if he has to put on more than 2 moves, it could be a loss, but I would take a shot. As I said it on Jets Rewind, I really believe that Garrett Wilson is a budding superstar, even better than Breece Hall and Sauce Gardner. I'm not fully convinced that he's 100% healthy. He might have bruised ribs from a few weeks ago, but this guy is just oozing with talent. And we haven't seen him isolated 1-on-1 long downfield. We've seen short passes and middle of the field passes. I'm hoping we'll see some long passes to Zach Wilson, but again, I would try to isolate him on short passes, and I would love to run the offense around Garrett Wilson. No offense to Breece Hall, who's a terrific player. Joe Barry, the defensive coordinator, he promised changes this week, and apparently the Green Bay defense is on the same page. Of course, they're not going to tell us what that is. What I think it is I think you're going to see more blitzing right here, okay? And the reason being, if you look over here, Zach Wilson, with a clean pocket, his completion percentage is 70.7. When he's under pressure, his completion rate is 18.8. Now, this seems like a commonsensical figure, as it would be with all quarterbacks, but look for the Jets to get blitz on Sunday, all right? And they have to have a game plan to pick it up. Their pass protection has been improving. Keep in mind, too, if the Jets rush for 90 yards or more, they're 3-0. So we have to get that ground game going. But that's not to take away my first play is a play action. I would activate, and again, you're going to see this. It's redundant. You're going to see it every single week. I would activate quarterback Chris Strebler, give him a package of plays, 2 to 4 plays, and could be a wildcat. I want to get creative. I want to be proactive. I don't want to just wait and wait and wait. He's not a superstar, but he showed enough where you could give him a little package of plays. Green Bay is 12th in pressure rate, which is not bad. I have here too, coming back to this, Green Bay is very vulnerable to crossing routes. Out of the 885 yards that they gave up, 327 came on crossing routes. So what does this mean? Well, it means this. You might want to put in on a few plays 12 personnel, which is one running back and two tight ends. And if you have Tyler Conklin and you have Uzoma there, you could have him come out and cross. And Zach, he's got to be patient and he's got to see the field. Okay, again, it's going to sound cliche-ish. They can't have stupid penalties. They have to play smart football. Zach cannot force plays. He's got to get rid of the ball a little quicker if it's not open. All right. So that's the game plan. It's a very important game. As I said, if the Jets beat Green Bay in Green Bay, everything changes for the season, which we'll get into later on. Excuse me. Enjoy the game. Please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Make a comment. I don't care what the comment is. If you can't read my writing, if I put on too many personnel, too less personnel, it doesn't matter. I'm only giving you my subjective opinion. Enjoy the game. So until next time for Jets Rewind Plus, this has been Marty Schupak.